Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bald and Bonkers Show. Join your hosts Christopher Mole and Dakota Franson as they take you on a wild ride through the world of the supernatural, with a humorous twist that'll have you laughing and shaking in your boots at the same time. From ghosts to aliens to cryptids, no topic is off limits on this show. And the best part? You don't have to be a believer to join in on the fun. So grab a drink, kick back, and tune in every weekend for new episodes. And if you want even more of the Bald and Bonkers experience, be sure to subscribe to our Patreon page for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Let's get weird. Oh, and for the whiners out there, viewer discretion is advised. There you go, you entitled pricks.
So, okay, we already have something weird.
What?
Did you see that warning pop up on your end?
Nothing popped up for me. I was drinking my bar shandy.
It's something about the Facebook page having issues, so it sounds like it's
I noticed all the ticks have all went. All the ticks were kind of weird for me. There was like a cross through one of them. That I did notice something like that, but
I think I just got it, but it's like it looks like someone got a little offended that we like to poke fun at each other and cross the line. I heard what you said about me, and I don't give a rat's ass what you think of me, people. There we go. Hi, Stephanie.
Look,
Hi,
Dakota. I have people that come to my channel and they say that when I'm doing the videos, could they try and stop the birds from tweeping? I mean, that's one of the best ones I've ever heard in my time. What am I meant to do? Go there like a couple of hours before with an air rifle and shoot all the birds dead? Get what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. You gotta say, I love how clearly people get offended that I don't give a shit what y'all think of me.
It's terrible.
I don't.
I've got a question for you, Dakota. What's with that video you sent me and the woman in the bikini? Did you see this, ladies and gentlemen?
Did you not? Fascination. Whoa, hold up. Someone sent me that video, Christopher. And did you not see the face on that? That was you. That was you.
Well, I'm just gonna say this right now. She's a damn good-looking woman. That's a damn good-looking woman.
Hey,
if
you're into
who sent you that?
Type of thing,
who was it?
I don't fucking know. It came through on email, man.
Yeah, but look, I would just like to know.
I was like to say they were trying
that video to you.
Probably Drew. You know, he was telling me that you've been trying to schedule a sex operation.
Well, you know, it comes to one point in somebody's life. You have to get it done sooner or later. I mean, Dakota, he had his done a couple of weeks ago, and look, he got a full 3 centimeters added on. You know. Hey, Crusher, who sent you that? Who did send you that picture?
No, I was fucking around and reface again.
I was just going to say, because you could start doing that for like special members, like for people that follow the channel. But the Patreon, you can start dressing up in your bikini, you know, and doing a wee dance for them, you know, for an extra couple of dollars a month.
I don't need to follow suit on what you do on your OnlyFans.
Wait, I've not got OnlyFans, but what I've been told,
that is a fucking lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, what this man here has done, and I'll tell you something, in it. If you wave a couple of dollars at him, his eyes just about pop out. I'll do anything for a couple of dollars. So control yourself, ladies in the chat.
Outside the back room of the
Walmart. Ladies in the chat, control yourselves. I know this man is unbelievably sexy, but he's took. I'm afraid he's got an alien wife, you know, with lots of alien children, and they're sitting in the spaceship, and I'm telling you, you'll end up getting a divorce case or something like that. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Oh, she hadn't divorced my ass already.
Nah, yeah. What's that in the chat
for $1?
Stephanie? You know, it's weird tonight that this is working. And last night it was a total pile of utter pish that kept kicking me out.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. It's got to be some sort of weird bandwidth with UK servers.
Oh, there's the Doom Show. The last train out. I've got to say stream out there. Been out of it for a while on medical grounds, but God bless it. It's good to see you, Doom, my good man. It's I miss your videos that you do talking about the bad aliens and stuff like that. And we really do. I hope you get better soon. Life is terrible sometimes, but we all have to get through it, you know.
Yeah.
So, Dakota, tonight, what we're discussing, what strange things are happening in the universe as we speak.
It's hard to keep up. What are you talking about, man?
I find right. I don't know about you. You seen that thing about Beetlejuice? And no, the movie Beetlejuice that they're going on about
Yeah,
Beetlejuice. It's
it's
all
about to go
over the
supernova.
news. Aye, the supernova. It's all over the news right now. The supernova is going to happen, and even during the night, it'll look so bright in the sky. You'll see it during the day because it'll be so bright in the sky. But how did they know? It could have exploded now for all we can. And it's
Actually,
traveling towards us.
that's literally how it goes. You know, they always say that the further into space you look, the further in the past you look. We already talked about this on a couple of different occasions where I say, like, planets in the Pleiades, just as an example, they're looking at a very, very powerful telescope that focused on Earth right now. Chances are they would see us in the 1600s.
See, that's that, right? This is a question. If the extraterrestrials landed right now, and one came on the show for, like, we'll just say one of the Palladians came on the show, big tall one. But anyway, I would like to ask them this question, right? We on the Earth looking at, say, the Palladian system, right, with a telescope, are seeing that, but that's millions of years has passed for them, right? But when they come here, when they're traveling here, does that change for them? That's what I'm trying to say. Because obviously they can travel from solar system to solar system in next to no time at all. So it must be quite strange for them.
It certainly makes you wonder how, say, like, when a world is first discovered, you know, it has all the, say, like, let's say one of the moons around Saturn, it not Titan, there was another one. They just detected phosphorus in the atmosphere. Okay.
That's interesting.
Which is said to be one of the indicators for potential life. You know, that's got to be utterly confusing. First showing up to a planet that you just barely found that might have life, then all of a sudden you find out once you get there, they're already pretty developed. You know?
Because they right, say for instance, they're on their planet, right? Hypothetically, there's a planet out there with extraterrestrial life, and they're looking at our planet and they're like, look at that, we're getting transmissions with this weird guy with a wee moustache going hi, and all that, right? That's our transmissions we're getting. Let's go and visit them, right? And say they've got a ship that can travel through their part of the galaxy to us in, say, 2 days. It's going to be a shock for them because our society has totally changed. So they might come in here expecting to see Nazis everywhere and like bombs going off, and mind you, probably stuff is said in their sense of colour. But I mean, it must be really weird.
Yeah, you gotta admit, it's definitely a good what if situation. You know, speaking of UFOs, I should have paid attention to the fucking Dr. Greer's latest conference, and this is something we can actually bring up with our guests coming up on Saturday. I realized a lot of the locations he named off are actually close to me. Like there was an example of a man-made UFO. It took place. The sighting took place back in 1947, but where it happened is only 30 minutes from me. 30-minute drive. I drive that way every day to go to work. And there's also that individual. I believe his name was Stephen Digna or something like that. He talks about walking up on this black diamond UFO. He actually touches the thing. There was a plasma coming off of it. Part of it felt like a cat's tongue. I've seen craft like that, literally flying over
the black diamonds. I see that one that I seen that day. that one that I seen that day. Remember, I tried to show you the video, but for some weird reason I could see it, but my camera phone wouldn't work. It was so weird. It was so weird a shape. It was like somebody taken a triangle and sat it on its side. And it was like the back end was like that, and then it went down. It was so weird, but the color was different. It was like it was like a gun kind of metal. Ken, how you get the gun metal?
That's the one I saw. But this one, it literally flew right above me, and I was playing the CE5 tones, so I was just like, "Holy shit! It's not supposed to work that good."
See, why I don't know if they're Hero the Jet, and I'm going to say something, right? This is going to sound absolutely crazy, right? But I'm wondering, like, just listen to me. Do you think that the governments of the world have got away putting out like a certain frequency that makes everybody blind to UFOs, but only some people can see them?
Actually, yes, that technology does exist.
See before I seen that UFO. Remember the one that I sent to my friend Lewis, and then I sent to you, and we were discussing it and stuff.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes, 15 minutes before that, I was up in the hill behind my house, and there was a phone tower. I'm not naming it wasn't a 5, it was normal 4 one. And 4G to be exact, phone tower. And I was right up close to it because the fences were down. And I was right up close to it, and I could feel my head like kind of buzzing. It felt weird, and I thought, right, I'm walking away. And I walked away, and then I looked across and I seen this thing slowly just hovering. And it was like a gunmetal. It wasn't diamond shaped. It was more like it was no a triangle, but it was like a slope that went down like that, and it was flat at the bottom. I could see like cylindrical like sides to it. It was weird, and it just went from 1 mil to 1 mil to 1 mil to 1 mil. And the weird thing was that it must have been some size, because that was quite far away. It was bigger than 2 double deckers joined together. And I was like, surely to God, somebody must have seen that. But remember, we were talking to somebody that their husband behind that on the other side that was looking out on the hill that day, well, a week before that, after that, seeing weird lights, like triangular lights moving about. But what I'm trying to say is, do you think, right, the mobile phone networks are maybe either use them to talk and all that through your phone devices and that, but you ever seen that film They Live? Yeah. Where he has to put the sun specs on and he sees all the aliens with the aliens. Do you think that's maybe the same kind of thing, where they're putting out these frequencies, right? And you can't see them, but some people are different. And you notice a lot of UFO sightings are outside like normal cell phone range. Quite a lot. A lot of them are like sightings in the mountains and people camping in remote areas where the cell signal's not very good. So it makes you wonder that the cell signal has got something in it that's going through the air and it's doing something to people, to either looking up but they don't see nothing, but in actual fact there's something there all the time.
When you really think about it, there is tech to cause absolute psychological breakdown in a targeted area. They can remotely affect mood swings. It's actually documented that the very mineral compositions of just the place you happen to live at can actually affect your mood based on the Earth's magnetic fields. This is actually well documented. So it does stand to reason that somebody out there with a lot of resources, a lot of time, managed to figure out how to do this remotely. And that's actually a lot of experimentation that is believed to have helped create the MK Ultra programs.
See, I find the MK Ultra quite a fascinating subject. I've got a really itchy nose. I don't know, the very tip of my nose is extremely itchy. It's the CIA. Stop making my nose itchy.
Yeah, see, psychological torture, a never-ending itchy nose.
As a never-ending itchy nose. But here's an interesting thing that I learned. I'm sorry to jump off the subject, because if I don't tell you this, I'm going to forget about it.
All right.
Because I forgot about it twice. I was going to talk about it tonight. I was watching something on YouTube, last night, and I can't remember what mountain range it was. I can't remember if it was Mount Everest, but I'll look it up in a minute. Did you see what they found? Just, I think it was a couple of months ago. There was hikers up. You know how they're always coming across bodies?
Yeah.
They came across a body, but the man had a full business suit on. No climbing gear, leather shoes. The body, he was dressed as if he worked downtown New York. Google it. I can't remember where it was.
You got my curiosity now. I'm going to try to look it up. You think it was Everest?
I can't remember if it was Everest or not. I seen it on the telly last night, and I thought, what in God's name is this? And they were going on about how they found this guy on some mountain where a lot of bodies are found of like people that they mountaineering, right? But the guy had a full business suit on. He didn't have any climbing gear. They actually says that they think that he's just been dropped.
That's kind of scary when you think about it.
But I'll see if I can put it now. Let me search this now. It popped into my head there.
Yeah, makes you wonder if some of the missing persons are just popping up on random remote locations that they're guaranteed not to survive. Or if they do survive, they're going to have some serious issues. You know what I mean?
This here right now. Man found. There we go. Mirror. It was. This is actually a while ago. So there you go. It's in 2011. Man found dead in posh suit by hikers in an Austrian mountain. I'll send you the link now. That's crazy. It was. I was clicking. You know how you surf YouTube, and you just surf random things, and it popped up here. It's coming to you right now. And honestly, it just popped up. And here we go. A mysterious as goes as the top of the snow-capped mountains has provided particular chilling. Top of a snow-capped mountain provides. Police are baffled after the body of a man in a suit and designer shoes was found at the top peak.
That is interesting.
It was a strange news. That's what it was. It was strange news on YouTube, and the man who has not yet been identified was discovered lying face down in the snow at the top of the peak in Austria, at about 2,000 meters above sea level. To get to this mountain, guys, you need to have mountain climbing equipment just to get there. The police spokesman says it's very unlikely he could have walked that high with no winter clothing, and those shoes possibly he had fell out of a plane. It's unlikely someone would make it walking up the snow in the minus 10, minus 20. I mean, you're probably reading this for yourself, guys, and click on that link because I had to mention it, and I thought to myself, that. Now, there's only like two really explanations for this. The guy's husband jumped out of an airplane, right? Murdered, right? Or he's been abducted by aliens and they've dropped him in the wrong spot.
Which has
happened to you. They dropped you in a different spot. They dropped you in a different spot. They dropped you in your grandmother's house. See, here's the thing. See, that's happened before. See, in Scotland, that happened in Scotland. I think it was in the 1960s or the 1970s. I can't remember. And there was a body found at a coal yard. Kind of how you coal that you put in your fire, coal. And the foreman went in the morning and he looked, and there was a big, massive pile of coal. And there was no way in, big high fences, everything was locked, and there was a guy with a suit and lying at the very top of it, dead. And they'd figured out the fall killed him. That's what killed him. The fall. He didn't go up there and die. The fall killed him. Hitting the coal. Because all his bones were broken, basically. So is that the same kind of thing? Something been abducted?
It could very well be it. There's actually a number of cases where people have been displaced at the wrong location. And like I said, an example that I was told when I was talking with a well-known regression therapist. I believe her name was Lori McDonald. One case that stuck out to her was, I believe, in the 70s. It was 3 young boys who disappeared from the backyard. They were just out playing. It was towards the night. Yeah. They started searching party. A few hours later, they go to a neighbor's house, and they have a pool in their backyard. It's fenced off, locked up. Owners of the house were gone for vacation. There's a cover on the pool that you would have to physically lift and move aside. No traces of anybody being in or out of there for a few days, aside from a neighbor who would help check up on the house. All 3 boys were found in there drowned.
See, was the cover still in the pool when the cover was lifted off?
Mm-hmm.
How in God's name did they end up in there?
That's a very good question.
It's like how was the man found on top of the peak in Austria? Because the only way you could have got up there, even it was too high for helicopters to go.
Up there, it's wind conditions, just the chill of it itself. Most helicopters aren't equipped to handle that type of load.
That's very mysterious. And see, this is the thing. Can you imagine explaining this to alien guy? Say there's an alien guy in the spaceship, and he goes to his commander and he says, "Did you drop that guy back at his house? The guy with the suit on, because he was abducted." And the guy will go, "Aye, we left him on top of the mountain where he tell us to go." I mean,
well, that depends on. I guess that's a situation that would really depend on who was the abductor.
That's actually a good question.
So, because it could very well be a situation where they didn't just give a shit and they just dropped him off at the nearest place.
Or did they work for the government? And he's maybe went through a gateway or something. I mean,
work for the government, organized crime. You never know. There's so many different variables to this.
It's on Reddit today. You can find this story, and everybody's talking about it. I mean, it's one of the kind of situations. I'm going to see if I can find the pictures, because there was pictures. I meant to tell you this before the start of the show. Look at that. It's not letting me search that for some weird reason.
Ooh.
The phone's just gone white. I'm serious.
Say what now?
My phone's just gone like a white screen.
Like you have a virus on it or something?
No, it's just, it said Google wasn't responding. It just come up, Google's having problems. Hello there. Hello, Dakota and chat. Beautiful day. Images, let's see. There's the mountain there. I'll just show it to you. It was found at the very, very, very top.
You've got to learn to use your share screen feature, man.
I know, but it's not in my laptop. It's not in my laptop, and Christ knows what will happen if I, you know what I mean?
Right.
Will I accidentally hack into the Pentagon by mistake or something like that? I've already got everybody fully met anyway, so. But
it could be some of the remarks you made about Russia.
I was going to make another remark there, but then I was going to be good to them, but then obviously the CIA and that'll be pissed off, so then they'll come back. So I'm just not going to say nothing.
You not saying nothing?
I know, but what I'm going to say is, right,
cold day in hell.
You think about all these UFO people that have disappeared, never seen again. Was it the government that taken them? Were they taken away somewhere? Were they murdered and buried in some field?
Well, here's the thing. Just kind of jumping back to the Black Diamond story a bit. Say like a week later, that Stephen Dugnart, and this was in Dr. Greer's press conference, he and his wife found themselves strapped to tables, and a human woman was extracting DNA samples from him. Now, being that ET craft allegedly interface with the biological systems? Were they trying to look for specific markers as to why the craft reacted the way it did?
I think there's a certain few people in this world that have got special genes. I really do. And I think that they can use their genes to activate things. Long things that have been buried for a long time.
Here's something I've genuinely wondered. Say, like I said, it is speculated, and it is actually technology that we are trying to implement into our day-to-day now, to where only people with certain DNA markers can access certain things, right? So what about their family members? Would they still be able to access everything? Like direct siblings?
See, that's quite interesting you say that. Right. What blood type are you?
O neg.
Right. See, I think you've got the gene in you that can activate things. I think
now you're going to get me abducted, Chris.
Honestly, if you're listening, aliens, take him away. It'll be fine. Just bring him back. Just don't leave him on top of a mountain somewhere with his t-shirt on. Shouldn't have said that. No, they've given him an idea. But anyway, if he disappears, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a 5-minute.
If I disappear, everything bald and bonkers disappears too.
But here's the thing, right? I think everybody that does this, it's even Elena, I think she's special and you're special. And all these people that are like Dr. Stephen, we're special. And all these people that are doing this, I think you've all got a gift. I really do think you've got a gift. And I think that's why the government wants you. Because I think there's technology out there that you can access that you don't realize that you can access.
I got something on that. You know the name Dr. Michael Salla?
I've heard that name, yeah.
Yeah, he's in Elena's circles. He's actually going to be he's another speaker at the conference that I'm going to be going to in October. I just bought my ticket, so see ya, Jessic.
I'll have 2 weeks off that week.
Now anyway. He has a military insider that feeds him info. Goes by the name of JP. Does several interviews. It's on his YouTube channel. He also just released a book about it. One of the recent updates I caught, I mean, I've just been busy with some personal life stuff, I'm not as much as an asshole as some of y'all think I am. Anyway.
I still worry about
No, I can be a lot worse. I can be a lot worse. You've seen me. You've seen me. Anyway, as I was saying, before I go off the tracks too much, allegedly there is an operation in motion for the U.S. military. They seem to be taking lead on it to try to identify people who possess the necessary DNA markers to activate arcs that are all over the planet. And these arcs are allegedly the source of a lot of these spherical UFOs that have allegedly been shot down. In which, according to the Pentagon readings, those are some of the most common ones being spotted.
See, I honestly think that if you've got this gene, you're obviously high priority to the US government, right? And I think they would go out their way to try and abduct you and get samples of you. They would.
Here's the thing. There's been several attempts to try to open these areas just by having a sample. Some eyewitnesses have claimed that there have been individuals who have been identified to have these genetic markers physically taken to the locations. their throats slit on sight, their blood drained, and it not work, even though the DNA was there. The individual who possesses the DNA also has to be conscious.
Yes.
Like, first off, if I had the DNA, the hospital misplaced my blood enough times for somebody to have some sort of idea what's wrong with me.
I'm not saying that that's what happened to me, but when my blood went missing and stuff like that. But I believe that the person has to be cognitive. They have to be alive. They have to be, for instance, there's a spaceship, right? And you put the blood on the spaceship to try and activate it, and nothing happens. Say they bring you along, or they bring somebody else along, they kidnap or whatever, and they sit that person in that chair, and they've got to think when they're touching that controls, start the engines, turn everything on. Like, say for instance, this keypad here's the spaceship, and I'm like, I've got my hands on it, and I'm like, engines start, and they're thinking that you're thinking that engines start and things like that, and it all comes online. But as soon as that person's either murdered or taken away from the control panel, it just turns straight off again.
That's allegedly the situation.
Yeah.
And there is also some sources who claim that certain ET races have figured out how to have certain individuals carry blood samples. Say, like, it's the equivalent of having to cover someone's shift at a day job, but they have the tech that allows the other person's blood to be consciously activated, and that person cover any civic duties while to say they're on the other person's on a diplomatic mission, allegedly.
See, I'm going to throw something into the works here. I bet you've maybe thought about this, right? What was if they've taken, like, right, say for instance, right, you, Elena, and all these other UFO people that can fly these ships, right, that can activate them. What happens if they've taken DNA for a different reason? What happens if they've taken the DNA to clone you? And that clone, maybe the day something takes mind, but obviously it kens who it is and that, but it doesn't realise who it really is, like you, right? Is flying these ships for them. They're turning it on. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we all know with like Dolly the sheep and stuff like that, with clones and things, cloning can have problems. Right. And I believe that they have cloned people to try this. And I think it has worked, but I think that person's died really quickly after it.
Here's the situation that the cloning is run into, especially this is what happened with Dolly the sheep. Say I were to go to the blood drive, they take the blood from that, manage to successfully clone me. That clone, even though it would technically have just been born, would be born 27 years old.
Yes.
This is the issue that ran in with Dolly the sheep. All of Dolly's clones were born the age those DNA samples were taken. Now, and some of them were born with a lot of the issues that Dolly already had just from her normal life. The situation is the telomeres, which are basically like aglets on the shoelaces to help string them into shoes, were too degraded. Now, there is actually a clinic in Switzerland that does blood transfusions. Say you, as the older person in the room, where you have, say, like an 18-year-old something, donate their blood to you, their telomeres, in theory, should be a lot longer. And something about the length of the telomeres corresponds with the age of the person. Right. You can extend your age by that blood transfusion.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah,
but
it's being done now.
I've heard about that. I've heard about that. A lot of people getting like younger people's blood so as they last longer. But what happens if
vampires were onto something?
What happens if, right? Hypothetically, and I think about this. What happens if, right? Say for instance, your mum or your parents, in any description, kept your first baby tooth, and they get a hold of that baby tooth and extract the DNA from it. Think about it. I mean,
That's
it's
one way to get around it, I guess.
I will think about it because you came at some parents are like they'll like look some parents. I know
Yeah,
this is
keep
going
their
to sound
baby
crazy,
teeth,
but my
keep their
mother has
hair.
actually got a lock in my hair when I was baby.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but
I
here's the
think my
thing: I
mother
should
did
have
that
maybe
too.
said that now because now the CIA will be way get that. But anyway, here's the thing: but like a lock of your hair, or maybe one of your first tooths you've lost. They say when you lost your tooth, what, 2, 3 or 4-year-old, you lost a tooth, right? They kept that tooth. Say the government get their hands on that tooth. They extract the DNA if there's anything left in it, if it's not too degraded, right? And then they can produce somebody around about 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah, you're also talking about like an X-24 situation. Yeah, I'm bringing out my X-Men references again, but
It
can't be.
I've noticed that.
My grandfather got me into it,
You want to be the invisibility.
No, I wanted Wolverine's abilities, especially for the number of times I got injured. Wouldn't have had to spend as much of my childhood in the hospital.
I think it makes you wonder the dark things that they're up to. I mean, I watched all that Dr. Stephen Greer's stuff. It was 3 hours long. That guy can barely talk. I mean, he done an amazing job. Absolutely amazing job. Aye. And when he was talking about these underground bases, these secret underground bases, right? He brought up a map of the United States. Nearly every single state had an underground base, except for one state, which I found strange. It was Montana, that didn't have any dumb underground bases, which I found quite interesting. And I think there was another state, I can't remember what it was called, but there was a couple of, I think it was Montana. It was up the top near you. You're in Idaho, aren't you? And it was just across you. That one didn't have any deep underground or any bases whatsoever.
Because according to Elena's first book, that the base that's near me is more like a prison base.
Yeah.
I know Elena just dropped her last video from her trip to the Middle East, but if anybody happens to know the page number for the bases, can you please tell me?
I mean, I find it quite interesting about how there's everywhere nearly in the United States has got a base, except for that state. Why? Where's that mountain? Where's that mountain again? What do you call it? Oh, bugger and Hell's Bells, and that's the dementia, guys. I can't help it. I'm getting old. As he keeps going on at me, I'm getting too old. I'm going to the old folks' home soon. Mount Shasta. Where's Mount Shasta?
There you go. Okay. Northern California, close to the Oregon border.
See, that's an interesting place, Mount Shasta, and I think there's so much there. There's so much hidden stuff there.
Elena was showing one of her videos. I finally managed to catch one as it dropped. She actually had an invite to the Inner Earth.
Wish I could go. I think it'd be great.
Oh, I would love to go check it out. Go see the Telosians and all that. Crystal Cities.
The Telosians. The Telosians.
Telos. That's the name of it. That's the name of the city that's allegedly under Mount Shasta.
Wonder how much it costs there to go your holidays.
Oh, a couple hundred. There it is. Just found it.
Yeah. Is there any in Montana? Because when he was doing it, he was showing the map. He brought a map up, and I think it's an hour and a bit in. And he showed all the bases. And I noticed that...
Okay, that is fucking weird. You would think Montana would be one of the perfect spots. There's hardly anybody up there.
Yeah.
But then again, here in Idaho, not a lot of people realize
we have a lake
that's being used for... No.
See, that's what I mean. Well, everywhere else in the United States has got a base, but except Montana. And you would think it would be the perfect place because it's basically deserted.
Yeah, there's hardly anybody through there. It's just so mountainous. It's hard to really settle anywhere.
Yeah.
But then again, a lot of people don't realize that here in Idaho, well, everybody who's lived here and knows about it. It's been around since the Second World War, but we have a lake that's so large it's used to test nuclear subs to this day.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I found it quite interesting with Dr. Stephen Greer how he was talking to you about how our alien friends have turned off like nuclear silos and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is something I do want to say there, and I'm sorry, Dr. Stephen Greer, if you're listening. You did say that all the extraterrestrials that are out there are friendly. They're no all friendly, obviously. They're no all friendly. There is ones out there that are evil bastards, right? That are, I mean, I know he was saying that so as he was trying to hang with the public into thinking that they're all like ET and stuff like that.
Yeah. I know I'm pretty sure I know what Dr. Greer was trying to do, but there is a couple of things. One, and a lot of people notice, does anybody else notice just how fucking nervous that man was?
He was nervous and he was sweating. I had the extreme feeling. Did you see his bodyguards?
Yeah. Somebody made threats. There's a couple things. Also, a lot of people in certain chat groups who are obsessing about the particular Marine. You remember that one I told you? He was deployed to Southeast Asia after the tsunami, and he actually,
I think so.
ran. I didn't know that story.
Pete in the chat there, Dad actually went to Mount Shasta looking for the cave, and the people on the podcast side, it's son of the naked Bigfoot. That's Pete talking about his dad when he went to Mount Shasta. Thank you very much for telling us that, Pete. Mount Shasta's always fascinated me.
Yeah. I know there's also a lot of people obsessed over the fact that that particular Marine, as I was saying, he was wearing Masonic pins.
I noticed.
A lot of people are freaking out about that. It's like you do realize the type of shit that's going on. He may not be high enough level to be in the secret circles that everybody freaks out about, because everybody wants to say they know everything nowadays, but just based on a little snippet of something they see. Morons.
I'm going to say something about the Masons, right? I'm going to say something about the Masons. The Masons have got a really strange understanding of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen in a Masonic lodge. I've been in a Masonic lodge. My family were Masonic Masons, right? And I had a friend that is still alive that's in the Masonic lodge. He took us in one day, and the floor has a picture of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And before then, the flat earthers think, no, it's not flat, it's a globe. Right, so there's a picture of the world, right? And then it's got a picture of like the sun, the moon, the stars, and it's got like stars all around about it. I think they know more than they're letting on. I honestly think they know more today we're up there.
Mm-hmm.
Neil Story's coming on next week. We can ask him because he's amazing.
Oh, that's gonna be a controversial interview, but hey, I like Neil.
Yeah, Neil's awesome. Neil is absolutely amazing. But I was drawn to that guy sitting next to Dr. Stephen Greer. There was just something strange about him. See the guy with the dark shades on?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me.
And then he got up and then he started clapping as if he's never clapped before.
You got to admit,
like a seal.
He kind of reminds me of you've seen it all over social media, that there's a certain Secret Serviceman that he's all bald, very pale skin.
Yes.
Doesn't exactly look like he's all human.
Is that the one that looks like Alien? The Alien one. He's a Secret Service. I've seen that.
Yeah. Ironically, his picture looks like Elena's drawing of the Men in Black.
See, that's the thing. Has there been any more sightings of the Men in Black ever since this stuff that's been happening?
Nothing solely that would be extraterrestrial in origin. Like I said, we were talking a little bit about the Vegas case before we went live. That family claims that they've seen men in black suits and black SUVs. It does sound like it's more the human variety.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, that is also someone I would love to get on the show because
Aye.
first off, I'm disgusted at some of the people that are making the jokes about the fact that they are Hispanic and it's illegal aliens around.
Look what Pete put in there.
Right.
That's really interesting. Dad picked up on stories of a 12-foot tall giant with skin color of granite and bright blue eyes.
I've heard those
Isn't that
stories.
interesting?
I've heard those stories.
That lived under Mount Shasta, though, said that they were cannibals, but Dad spent 32 days there. That's weird they should mention the blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it? Yeah, right. That's interesting. But they were different for me. They were tall, but they were human looking. Maybe that was just their.
Were they?
Maybe that's how I perceived them.
You're hanging around a bunch of ass eaters.
Well, I'll need. If you're about the moon and invisible, you need to go and visit Dakota. He's got a lovely ice cream selection.
Oh, I wish. Too many women
Pete,
in
man,
the house.
Pete, in the chat, you need to come on sometime and tell us more of your dad's stories because your dad was awesome. The stories your dad used to tell, really miss him, really do. But Mount Shasta is. You need to go there, Dakota. Right, everybody donate. Let's get Dakota to Mount Shasta.
That's definitely a bucket list location for me, to be completely honest. But right now, I just put up most of the money I had saved for the Orlando trip. So
yeah, well, you'll have a good time. All the UFO girls that'll be dancing. I just ignored me. I went mad. But
I think someone's jealous.
I'm not jealous. He's never. You want to hear something sad? He's never done. You ready? It's a certain dance. He's never done.
Oh, on this shit again.
The time warp. He's never. Can you believe that, Pete, in the chat? He's never done the time. I talked to your dad about that one night, Mike, about that. And honestly, if you're about Mike, please, for the love of God, whoever made existence of who it was, this man needs to do the time warp again. Elena, please, if you're watching this, please ask the DJ at the dance to play it. Well,
you've got to come up with new material, man.
Well, that's not right. You're getting all blushed there. You've never done the time warp. It's a dance. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Everybody's seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, I'm not.
But obviously, there. You haven't. But
it's like I'm not there to focus on other shit. There's shit I got to do while I'm down there.
I know you're going to be meeting all these alien people. You're going to be discovering the essence of alienism or whatever it's called. It's going to be awesome. What?
I don't know what to do with you. You wonder why something's always trying to kick you off when we have a guest.
I know it's weird, but I've got that fixed now. So
let's see.
To the mountain. What's that? And earn your way. What's that? It says there, son of the naked Bigfoot, and earn your way. Days there, and earn your way to the mountain. I would like to go and see something like that, Mount Shasta. I've seen so much about it, and it's an amazing location. I would like to just sit there and watch the UFOs get in and out. Wouldn't you?
That would be cool to see.
But by the time you go to Orlando, there could be so much more news out.
There's going to be.
Aye.
I think there's going to be even more, and I don't know, man.
Do you know what would be the deal? Do you know what you could finally do it if Dr. Stephen Greer could pull this off? If you're watching this, get one of our extraterrestrial friends to come on stage with you and talk to the public.
Who says he hasn't?
See, that's an interesting fact. They've been humans. They look like humans. Get what I mean? But to basically say this is something, make up a bad alien name, but I don't know. This is such and such is from the planet such and such, and he's here to tell you why they want to help us. And he could do something to make him look like an alien or whatever. I think it would shock people, but I think it would help. I think it would get it out there instantly. I think it would make something.
All the gray and reptilian looking ones have been ordered to stay back for a little bit, just because humans are absolutely terrible at blanket assumptions. We think we know everything. Just look at the number of people who get flustered over little inside jokes. Yes, a little ledgy. I'll give you that.
There's Sonny the Naked Bigfoot, Pete again. Remember the rule of the road. You have to give a little to get a little.
Yeah, if only a bus full of Playboy bunnies could just break down in front of my house. Wouldn't that be the ultimate fantasy?
See, ladies and gentlemen, what he's really thinking about, he's sitting there at night thinking, oh, please, Lord, just let the Playboy bunny bus break down outside my house. I'll go out and change any tire, any spare tire. I'll do it, Lord. Please.
And we got Playboy that watches us too, so
we got a Playboy that watches us. Who?
We got a few.
Oh, hello. What?
And they find you absolutely repulsive. No, I'm just kidding.
That's terrible, isn't it? What was that? Just no hairy nuns.
Then he's out.
Remember, what are you going on about, Pete? You going on about hairy nuns?
Why do I get a feeling that's another Mike story?
Oh, I like the one that your dad told us about the Exorcist ring. Everyone that's watching this, please go and look up Mike the Naked Bigfoot's channel and watch the one where they go the Exorcist ring. He did a favour for a priest that night. I'll be dancing about the graveyard, You'd be dating for an Exorcist ring, wouldn't you?
I didn't have to.
But you didn't. His is more obviously powerful than yours. You get what I mean? His is more special.
No, mine was given to me.
Right, all right. And somebody says to you, I'll give you an artifact from a UFO, right? But first you have to dance naked around the graveyard for this priest in the corner. Would you do it?
I would want to see the damn artifact first.
I would say it was a big,
too
shiny,
many wankers
thing.
Like you out there who think me dumb, who think they know everything about me.
Yeah, but there's something that makes me. I've got that ring. I'll tell you something. The stuff that your dad had in that cabinet. Oh my God. The stuff that he's got in there. I had weird dreams after seeing. I'll tell you. Remember the video he did where he found the clay face, and I had weird dreams after that. And I dreamt about that mask, and it was like I dreamt I was in the jungle, and it was like the drums were playing. I shit you not. See, for like 4 days, I tell Mike this, and I had this weird dreams, and they were chasing me with that mask on. And when I witnessed it, honestly, Pete, I hope you've got all that stuff locked away in a special place. There's Dakota. He wants to come and see it. Yeah. But I think going back to disclosure stuff and going back to that in Las Vegas, right? There's a lot of reports out there that the aliens were inside the cab of that tractor. It was a loader of some kind. That's what it was. I don't think they were inside the cab. I think they were at the back here. And even at then, I don't think they were aliens. I think they were man-made, cyborgy things to make them think there was an alien invasion or something. Honestly, that's what I think it was.
Honestly, you gotta be careful because I've seen a lot of fakeries, fake videos circulating around, and just the number of people that are, once again, fucking believing everything they see online.
Why is it? And this is the thing, in its own YouTube, you'll get somebody that'll take CGI, make a spaceship, right? And there'll be like 10,000 folk will believe that it's real, right? You can clearly see it's made really badly. But then somebody will get a video of like a UFO that's actually been captured, and folk will say it's fake. I just don't get that. I just don't really get it.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I will say this: there's something going on. There is something going on right now in the world, and there's a lot of. I do think that the governments of the world are trying to turn people's eyes to like maybe Russia, or turn people's eyes to other things. Because there's a lot of stuff happening.
There's this one particular influencer I've seen on TikTok. Been trying to find a way to get her on, but haven't had any luck. Now, even Dr. Greer is aware of this incident. She was streaming the press conference through her TikTok, right?
Right.
Right as they got to that Marine with the Masonic pins on his suit, TikTok shut it down for misinformation. So almost quite a few thousand people were watching it through TikTok, and they shut it down. And to which she also makes kind of a valid point, and you kind of have to wonder ourselves when you really think about it. What the hell else is going on that revealing aliens is the lesser of two evils?
I truly think that the world is about to change for the worse. I think there's going to be a few years more than that. It's just darkness on this planet. I think we're heading into war. I'm going to say that right now. I think we're already at war with Russia and that, because we're sending them stuff. Would you go to Europe and stuff? But I think it's going to go down with like Taiwan, and honestly, there's a lot of videos out there, and I'm going to say this: there's a lot of videos out there that people saying, "Oh, there's US military moving through cities in America," right? And then there was one. There's one the new on TikTok, and it's all the Ospreys flying together, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was an air show. Right? I researched it.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was no training. It was an air show.
Yeah, no, I've had a couple of people try to. No, we've actually just had an air show here not too long ago, and there's been people trying to say, "Dakota, they're training near you." It's like, it's an air show.
Yeah,
it's usually not all that exciting, to be completely honest.
I'm also going to say this. They're going on about how there's armored vehicles getting shipped across America. If you look at some of the armored vehicles, you can tell that they're old armored vehicles, and they've got the old camo for the desert. And what usually happens is they ship them off to a yard to get refitted and repainted, right? But I will say this: there is something about to go down. There is something biblical that's got to go down. I think it's got to change the world forever.
The reason why I named this episode "What May Come," because a lot like what we did with Brett last night.
Yeah.
I think that needs to be a question when we close out some of the interviews centered around UFOs, because I did send a message out, hopefully to get Robert Kennedy on to talk about some of his stuff he's been getting targeted for.
Yeah.
God, that'd be an amazing fucking conversation.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do feel that the world. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Here's a prediction. I bet you the banks crash. Yeah. I bet you in the next couple of years there's no such thing anymore as paper money. And I'm also going to say this, and I've seen reports say I didn't believe it, but I know people that have seen reports of this. I'm not going to mention it. The jibby jabby thing that you get in your arm. Have you seen that they've been doing it to fruit and vegetables?
Yeah, you've been bringing it up on the last couple of shows we had airtime.
Yeah, and honestly, if you live out there and you are watching this, see when you go to buy your produce and stuff, please go to your local farmer's market and buy your stuff. That's what I do.
If they want it to be a lot more effective about distribution, they would easily just insert it into high fructose corn syrup, because what doesn't have that nowadays?
Exactly. But I think we're entering a state now that even our food isn't right. Our food doesn't even taste the same anymore. I mean, I went to a supermarket the other day and I got some corn, Ken corns in the cob,
Mm-hmm.
and they tasted like cardboard. I'm serious, they tasted like cardboard. Then I went to the local farmer's market and I got some for there, and they were totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of genetically modified stuff. So if you are watching this, guys, if you're listening to this, guys, support your local farmers. Support your local farmers and buy their stuff. It might be a wee bit more expensive, but I'll tell you something now, it's going to be a lot better for you.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And honestly, guys, be ready, because I do think something's coming. I don't know if it's going to be an alien invasion. I don't know if it's going to be World War III, but I think it's going to be a bit of both.
I know. And I've been seeing a lot of people freaking out over Blue Beam. It's like first off, the good guys have, yes, we'll see that, because that tech's already been utilized. I mean, have you seen the videos going around of Dubai with all the floating whales?
The whales. Yeah, I've seen that. I found that spectacular. That's actually spectacular.
Yeah, but if you actually pay attention, this could easily be something overlooked by the number of people who are having.
What's that?
Dakota just as you mentioned, TikTok shutting down the girls' video, your podcast stopped on my phone just like that. What hell?
Yeah. It just shows you AI. Good to love it sometimes.
Which would be interesting to see what happens, because next week especially, I'm just saying, with the whales, if you look carefully, you can tell they're computer generated. The graphics aren't that good. But I will be interested to see what happens next week. We are going to be doing the Neil Story interview pre-recorded, just accommodate his schedule a bit. So we'll be dropping that one on Sunday. But that Saturday before, we actually have someone coming on who was on the panel for the 2001 conference, Dr. Greer held, Dan Willis.
No.
And I know we mentioned Elena a lot. My mother thinks I have a crush on her. I've done it so much. Hey! Hey, what? She's a beautiful, intelligent woman, and I'm honored to call her my friend. That's
call it
this motherfucker, on the other hand.
Really? Did your mother actually think that? I'm going to message your mama.
She's actually said that to me to my face.
Well, if you look, I think the two of you make a great couple.
No, I'm married,
a
man.
Young
You're
man,
gonna,
strapping man.
Motherfucker, you're gonna get me in trouble with my wife.
It's okay.
But anyway, Saturday we had Dan Willis coming on to talk about a lot of his research, everything that's going on. And, obviously, Elena's probably going to be coming up in that conversation, because he does keep track of a lot of her testimonies and backs up the fact that if anyone's worth listening to, it's her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which should say something, considering some of the individuals Dr. Greer had on his press conference actively try to talk shit about her.
I know. I'm very disgusted about that.
I know. I was going to try to reach out to some of them. It's like, first off, I understand. I can level if you have disagreements, but the level of fucking shit. See, yes, Dakota has morals, despite what some people try to say.
I'm going to say this. Elena does amazing work, right? Absolutely amazing work. And there's people out there that are jealous. I want to say a bad word, but I'm not going to. Are very jealous. They're very, very jealous. I'm being proper here. And I think they're just jealous, to be honest with you. And that guy that you're talking about, is it the guy in the blue jumpsuit? It looks like you can the guy I'm talking about on the very end with the badges. Aye, right. The guy for the cold place. Aye, right.
Yeah, the Antarctica guy. Yeah, that was him.
Antarctica, that's him. And I believe Elena more than I believe him. Right? What?
Anybody else just see that white flash of light that was right behind me?
No, is it your wife coming to give you a slap in the face because you were talking about Lena?
Hey, she likes Elena. First off,
I wish
I don't know.
through the wall and slap him in the side of the ear.
I know. Wouldn't that be funny?
You know,
Wouldn't
you
that
could
be
rig
funny if
something
we
up.
could pull that off?
When I put my hand towards it, you could rig something up. You put a string down below, and a big hand comes out.
I don't know. Just have it to where, like, you know, I go to offer you a drink, hand it you across the screen, and you just grab it. You know.
Yeah, I will say this to you about TikTok. I don't think TikTok's got long left before it's gone. Because it's got to get shut down.
They're gonna try to.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, it's fully like absolute utter pish. That's my Scottish coming out for you. It's coming out in absolute up. I don't think I've ever seen anything. There's maybe a couple of things on it, but the amount of like violence that's on it, the amount of like sexual content that's on it, and I just don't know what's happening with this.
Says the guy who left the comment about my penis size on one of our TikTok
Look,
videos.
I couldn't help it, guys. Why don't you tell everybody before we end the live about what the comment was and what I put?
He was saying that he needed one that would be in centimeters because it would be a lot more accurate for him.
What? Just remember, Elena, very small.
I don't think he listened to a damn word I just said.
What did you just say?
I said that you said you were needing one in centimeters, so would it be more accurate for you?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you're friends with Anakin. See? But we can't all blame him, you know. You can't all be that bad, you know. But honestly, when you go to that Orlando thing, you need to do the time warp again.
Dude.
Let's do the time warp again. You get all the moves, don't you? You have to jump.
I'm already going to be pushing for time just flying out there.
Oh, but yeah, there's a disco at night. You've got all the old women, loads of the old women that you've been chatting up. You know, they'll all be waiting on you.
See, ladies, see how he talks about you. See, y'all want to call me? Y'all try to call me the asshole. You call me the asshole. Some of the shit he says, at least I'm up front about my remarks. The shit he talks about by people behind their back.
Do you know what he says? Do you know what he says to me? All the older women will be waiting on me. Mm-hmm.
No, I just
don't you worry, ladies. I respect you. I respect you. And this man needs to teach the lesson in Orlando. Really does. I think you should all grab him at once.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
You know you're just admitting something there. That's funny saying that.
Yeah, no. I'll say with all due respect, I will say
he's got nothing face now, isn't he? He's thinking about.
Yeah, blood pressure does that well when you deal with someone like this.
Aye, he's going out with the lassies and the healings there, aye. Don't you worry, we'll find a hairy one for you.
No.
Maybe Pete in the chat will be able to find you a Bigfoot or something like that. I mean, actually, you never really see a female Bigfoot, do you? I've never
yeah, you do.
Really? I've never,
yeah.
What male?
And you would love it like your National Geographic, stash. Just fucking get a Cinemax or something.
What's that? What?
Wow, we should probably end this show before we really go off the rails.
No, what's it you're going on about? What is it? Oh, what? You broke up for me. You said you should really get it up. Yeah, that's what you said.
No, you should get yourself a fucking Skinamax. Try to stop beating your rocks off at National Geographic.
Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies,
I have to say that because I'm in National Geographic.
He's in. I seen the somebody spotted the monster. I see there's a new picture out of the Loch Ness monster.
Oh, really? We're gonna have to do.
The monster, the big sinner. Aye, it came out in the murky water. Aye, it came out. It did. Just honestly, just for mad. I'm mad.
We better end the show because we're going off the rail. Drew, why
Goodbye,
do you
everyone.
always come in last minute?
Goodbye,
It's-
everyone.
It's
I will
like
see you all in the spaceship.
we'll see you later because we're already going way off track.
Dakota will be in the dance hall.
Thanks for tuning into the Bald and Bonkers show. If you enjoyed the show and want to show your support, head over to our website at baldandbonkers.net. There, you'll find our merch, services, and